Imagine you are in the middle of a fun pickup game with your friends, when suddenly the play stops. People are yelling over the rules or arguing about who gets to keep the ball, and the game completely falls apart. We have all been there. But why does a fun afternoon so easily devolve into a shouting match with our friends and siblings? The book of James in the New Testament looks right at this problem. Chapter 4 explains exactly where these constant clashes come from. James explains that our fights don't actually start from the outside. They begin with the desires battling inside of us. All that yelling on the field is just a symptom. It happens because each of us is dealing with an internal demand to be the star player. The text breaks down exactly how this cycle works. We see something we covet, we realize we cannot get it, and out of that frustration, we end up fighting and quarreling. But the text points out another reason our hands remain empty. We simply do not ask God. Even when we do ask, we often hit a wall. That happens when we ask with what the text calls wrong motives. A wrong motive means asking for things solely so we can spend them on our own selfish pleasures. Treating God like a cosmic vending machine for our own wants pulls us away from a real relationship with Him and traps us back in that cycle of selfishness. James calls this selfish, me-first attitude friendship with the world. It is a choice to live by society's prideful rules. This playbook is the exact opposite of God's standard. He opposes the proud, but shows favor to the humble. You cannot run both plays at once. Choosing to be a friend of the world makes you an enemy of God. We all lean toward being selfish, but James reassures us that God gives us more grace to help us make the right choice. Winning in life starts with stepping back, admitting we aren't the boss, and letting the coach call the plays. The text lays out a clear action plan for leaving our pride behind. First, submit yourselves then to God. That means agreeing to play by His rules instead of making up our own. Second, we have to stand our ground against bad influences. James writes, "Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Third is a comforting promise. Come near to God, and He will come near to you. James then uses physical metaphors, telling us to wash your hands and purify your hearts. It is an instruction to clean up our bad actions and stop being double-minded, which is like trying to play for two different teams at the exact same time. We are even told to grieve, mourn, and wail. Rather than laughing off our mistakes, we need to take our poor behavior seriously. All of these steps point to one ultimate promise. If we humble ourselves before the Lord, He is the one who will lift us up. This humility also has to carry over to how we treat our teammates. James explicitly warns us not to slander or speak against a brother or sister. When we judge someone else, it is like a regular player grabbing a whistle and trying to take over the referee's job mid-game. The text makes it clear that there is only one true lawgiver and judge. He alone is the one who is able to save and destroy. Our job is simply to play fairly alongside the rest of the team, not to try and do God's job for Him. This brings us to a final trap: making arrogant plans. We love to brag about the cities we will visit tomorrow, or how we are going to carry on business and make money. But James points out a humbling reality. We do not even know what will happen tomorrow. He asks, "What is your life?" and answers with a profound image. You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Because our time on earth is unpredictable and brief, boasting about our future schemes is deeply foolish. Instead of bragging, the text teaches us a better, humbler response to the future. We ought to say, "If it is the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." The chapter then closes with a sobering reminder. If anyone then knows the good they ought to do and doesn't do it, it is sin for them. The peace we are looking for only arrives when we stop trying to run the entire game ourselves. True victory comes through humble submission to the ultimate team captain.